To learn simple English, start by learning the story of Molly Whuppie, a brave and clever girl. This story uses common words and easy sentences to help you practice. Listen carefully as we tell the tale and try to understand the words. This will build your vocabulary and your confidence in English. Consistency is key, so try to practice a little every day. Molly Whuppie is a classic fairy tale from Scotland. It tells the exciting story of a smart young girl. She is very clever and outsmarts a big giant. Because of her courage, she finds a happy future for herself and for her two older sisters. The story begins with a poor man and woman. They had too many children and could not feed them all. So they took their three youngest daughters deep into a big forest. They left the girls there all alone. As the sun went down, it became dark. The three sisters were very hungry and tired. They looked around and saw a small light far away. They decided to walk toward the light. The light came from a house. The girls walked up to the door and knocked. A woman opened the door. She looked worried and told the girls that her husband was a giant. She warned them, "My husband is a giant, and he might eat you." Even with this scary warning, the girls were desperate. They begged the woman for a place to stay and for something to eat. The woman felt sorry for them and reluctantly let them come inside. Soon after the girls finished eating, the giant came home. The giant's wife quickly tried to hide the three sisters, but the giant had a very good sense of smell and soon found them. He looked at the girls and decided not to eat them right away. Instead, he said they could stay for the night. The three sisters would sleep in the same bed as the giant's own three daughters. Before everyone went to sleep, the giant did something strange. He put chains made of straw around the necks of Molly and her sisters. Then, he put chains made of gold around his own daughters' necks. Molly Whuppie, who was the youngest and cleverest of the three sisters, felt that something was wrong. She did not trust the giant. She suspected he was planning something terrible. In the middle of the night, when everyone else was fast asleep, Molly quietly got up. She was very careful not to make any noise. She went over to the giant's daughters and gently took the gold chains from their necks. Then, she put the gold chains around her own neck and her sisters' necks. She took the straw chains from her and her sisters and put them on the giant's daughters. After swapping the necklaces, she went back to bed and pretended to be asleep. Later that same night, the giant quietly came into the bedroom. He was holding a big, heavy club. It was very dark in the room, so he could not see clearly. He reached out his hands to feel for the chains. He wanted to find the necks with the straw chains. When he felt the straw, he thought he had found the three sisters. Without hesitating, he lifted his club and hit the heads of the children with the straw chains. But because Molly had swapped the necklaces, the giant had made a terrible mistake. He had killed his own three daughters instead of the sisters. After the giant left the room, Molly Whuppie knew it was their chance to escape. She quickly woke up her two sisters. They all got out of bed as quietly as they could and snuck out of the giant's house. The three sisters ran and ran, not stopping until they were far away from the giant's house. Eventually, they arrived at a beautiful palace where a king lived. They were brought before the king, and Molly told him their whole story. She explained how they were left in the forest, how they found the giant's house, and how she tricked the giant to save herself and her sisters. The king was very impressed by Molly's courage and cleverness. He decided to give her a challenge. He told Molly that if she could go back to the giant's house and steal the giant's special sword, he would reward her. The sword was hanging on the wall at the back of the giant's bed. The king promised, "If you bring me the giant's sword, I will let my oldest son marry your oldest sister." Molly was not scared by the challenge. She bravely went back to the giant's house. She snuck inside and hid under the giant's big bed. She waited for a long time until the giant came to bed and fell fast asleep. She could hear him snoring loudly. Once she was sure he was sleeping, she quietly crept out from under the bed. She reached up and carefully took the sword from the wall. But as she was leaving the house and crossed the doorway, the sword made a loud rattling noise. The noise woke up the giant. He jumped out of bed and saw Molly running away with his sword. He was very angry and chased after her. Molly ran as fast as she could until she reached the bridge of one hair. This was a magical, thin bridge that only very light people could cross. Molly was small and light, so she ran across the bridge easily. The giant was too big and heavy to follow her. You could only stand on the other side and watch her escape. Molly returned to the palace and gave the sword to the king. The king kept his promise. He arranged for his oldest son to marry Molly's oldest sister, and they had a big wedding. The king was still very impressed with Molly and wanted to test her again. He gave her a second challenge. He said, "If you can steal the giant's purse full of gold, I will let my second son marry your second sister." The giant kept this purse under his pillow when he slept. Molly accepted the challenge. She went back to the giant's house for a second time. Just like before, she snuck inside and hid under the bed. She waited quietly for the giant to fall asleep. When he was snoring, she reached under his pillow and successfully stole the purse. But as she was leaving, the giant woke up again. He saw Molly with his purse and chased her. Molly ran straight to the bridge of one hair. She was fast enough to cross it and escape from the angry giant. Her second sister was then married to the king's second son, just as the king had promised. The king then gave Molly one final challenge. He told her that if she could complete this last task, she could marry his youngest son. He said, "You must steal the ring from the giant's own finger." Molly returned to the giant's house for a third time. She hid under the bed and waited for the giant to sleep. While the giant was sleeping, she tried to pull the ring off his finger. But the ring was stuck and would not come off. Molly, being very resourceful, found a way to get the ring. However, the giant woke up while she was taking it and caught her. This time, the giant was furious. He put Molly inside a large sack. He also put a dog and a cat in the sack with her. He told his wife that he was going to beat the sack with a stick. While the giant was gone for a moment, Molly started to talk from inside the sack. She tricked the giant's wife by saying, "Oh, I can see such wonderful things from in here." The giant's wife became very curious and wanted to see the wonderful things too. Molly offered to switch places with her. Molly cut a small hole in the sack, let herself out, and then helped the giant's wife get inside. When the giant came back, he started to beat the sack with his stick. He heard his wife's cries for help and realized that Molly had tricked him again. He chased Molly to the bridge of one hair, but she escaped from him one last time. Molly presented the ring to the king. She was then married to the king's youngest son. Having secured happy marriages for her sisters and herself through her intelligence and bravery, Molly Whuppie lived happily and never saw the giant again.